Hi Gemini Sun and Rising. Welcome to a video about the transit of Jupiter in the sign of Pisces. I'm Raina and I have been doing a series of these, and I just wanted to check and see which signs I hadn't done yet, and I found out that you were the only sign. So I apologize that I didn't just finish off that series earlier in 2021. But I kind of have my finger in different pies myself. I have Jupiter in Gemini, so that can make me enjoy doing a lot of things that are filled with variety. So Jupiter has already been in Pisces. Earlier in 2021, I'm recording this in October of 2021, and on December 28th of 2021, Jupiter will go back into Pisces, and it will stay there until May of 2022, and there will be, I'm assuming that that's when Jupiter will go into Aries for a while, and then go back into Pisces towards the end of 2022. So for you, Pisces is the 10th house of career. The 10th house is the house of your career, your reputation. So the name that you've made for yourself. And, your level of success, that's kind of related to that. And also, authority figures can be the 10th house, including parents or mentors, that kind of thing. And so the success level you have is the 10th house. And Jupiter is a very fortunate planet. So the chance for you increasing your success career-wise is heightened at this time. And the other opportunities that may avail themselves to you, well, obviously, you don't all have the same career goals, so I can't specify on that, but I can say that you may feel that you're more aligned, that you are going to places and dealing with things that have to do with your career, and the timing is just right. I think in general, the idea of being able to know what moves to make is a very valuable one. So in other words, not having to listen to somebody else tell you how to manage things, and really tuning into yourself more and trusting yourself, trusting the process. And oh my gosh, did I mention cafe astrology? Because I've started this reading several times, so I'm a little bit discombobulated here. Because usually I will compile a list, type out a list, and I'm just using their article and paraphrasing rather than actually typing something out, because you're the only sign that I haven't done, so I just want to put this out there for you. You might be in a position where you are the authority figure for somebody else or for other people, some other kind of promotion. You may be particularly enjoying career at this time rather than doing it just for the paycheck, doing it for the glory, but actually, no, really savoring it, really enjoying what you're doing. I don't know if I said anything about Cafe Astrology, but I will give a shout out to them, because this is where I'm getting this particular article on Jupiter in Pisces, how it affects Gemini. And one of the pitfalls of Jupiter is a tendency to overdo it. And with Pisces being the sign that Jupiter is in, there can be this diluted quality. So you may think that you can do more than you really can do. So even though you may get more opportunities and you may have more capacity for success, be realistic and protect yourself. Don't do things that create undue burden for you just because you're getting offers for things. The other thing that I wanted to note is that because Jupiter rules the ninth house, which deals with ethics, life philosophy, it's important to be really above board at this time and not be tempted to do anything that isn't totally on the up and up, because the Jupiter transit can present a lot of offers or possibilities, and some of them may not be completely legitimate, or they might be a little sketchy, and then you find out after the fact that that's true. They might have kept quiet or been misleading in some way. And that brings me to the fact that Pisces, being your 10th house, and knowing that Neptune has been in Pisces probably for about 9 years, you've already had to deal with that Neptune transit. And that can lead to a lot of feeling a bit adrift. And perhaps there are actually Geminis out there who have been this way for years. Now, Cafe Astrology, where I got some of these key points, I didn't see anything about potentially being influenced career-wise into a spiritual type of profession, having Jupiter in the 10th house, but I could certainly see it because of Jupiter representing the God house, the 9th house, but also the sign that's in Pisces. And you're actually blessed with this kind of thing because Jupiter can grant the blessing of whatever house that he visits. And this can give you a lucky break. It can also make it, I think, something that has a theme of Jupiter in that 10th house. And because Neptune is there, that just enhances it. But, it's very interesting because I think a spiritual career or even an artistic career, that could be another thing that Neptune represents, is something that doesn't require this really strong ego. In other words, being kind of behind the scenes, or like not really wanting to put yourself out front and center in certain ways, that can be more of the Pisces sun sign personality, the person who's very kind of, what's the word, like shy or what have you. But Gemini is a sign that tends to be very outgoing. And so when you are reticent about something, that is quite unusual. And yet it can be very good for the artist because the artist is walking that spiritual path. And so it may have been that Neptune transit may have begun as something that was confusing for you and disorienting, but as time has worn on and you've gotten more used to it, you feel that you don't have to be influenced by the world, that you can feel that you have a place in the world without necessarily feeling a strong sense of identity at this time. And there's going to be conjunction between Jupiter and Pisces in April. And that can lend a lot of idealism and coming from that higher perspective to your career sector. The reason why these things are so significant is that the 10th house that is affected here is an earth house. In the universal chart, it is ruled by Capricorn. And so this type of transit where there is this sense of ambition that's associated with the 10th house, this can be a great time for envisioning the type of career that you really want if you're still on the fence about something, because this lends itself to a spiritual outlook. And these two elements can harmonize very well in that regard. So, I think that overall this is going to be a great time for you, Gemini, in terms of taking your career to the next level, if that's where you're at. And if you have the opportunity to gain from your parents, this may be the time when that occurs. But yeah, so we'll see. It's in the near future. And I hope that you have a great upcoming transit of Jupiter at the top of your chart, Gemini. And if you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.